Okay, I randomly stumbled onto an interview of yours from late 2022, and you said you were having so much fun that it would be hard to stop. So if you think back to that time, are you kind of amazed that you're still going now and still having this much fun?
I feel like I've been in that that honeymoon stage since then. It has been very enjoyable, and each season, since the start of 22 has just been enjoyable. It's presented a new challenge. At the end of 23 Supercross is very unfortunate, but like you just said, I have been enjoying it, and it's been good.
I guess there's a part of you that wishes you could have found that enjoyment sooner, but also I feel like that's just impossible, isn't it?
It's hard, right? I mean, when you're younger, you have all this pressure on yourself, and you have the expectation, and there's that expectation to go out there and win. So you're under this tremendous amount of pressure. So a lot of that for me got taken off once I got my Supercross championships, because that was the one thing that was really nagging to me, and was the I don't know, it was just the negative part of me, right? Like, I couldn't put the Supercross series together. So at that point, I feel like my career changed. And then obviously the move to Monster Energy Star Racing was a good move for me too. With that being said, I had great years at Kawasaki. But definitely revived me, and now we're here. We're still going in 24.
Yeah, and you still want to win the same, obviously, but I guess it's a different type of pressure, or the same pressure and you know how to deal with it differently.
It's it comes with experience. So yes, you do know how to deal with it. You eventually you do this so many times. You know the routines, and you really know. You just start to know you.
Finally, you have picked it up so much lately, ever since the ankle injury. Are you now at your best, or is there still more to come? Do you feel like there's still some left on the table?
I feel like I'm at the best this season, bar none. It has been building, and I did have those few rounds there where I was having an issue with my right ankle. Like, I couldn't weight the peg correctly, so that was throwing me off. It was making me tight it, in the middle of the moto. So I'm getting better and better. Unfortunately, there's only 3 to go, but I'd rather find it now than never, right? So with all that being said, yeah, I'll take it for now.
Okay, what I've heard a lot recently is this is the best Cooper Webb ever, but I feel like that is massive disrespect to how you've been ever since 2019. You've been in a fight every year. End of 2020, I feel like that's overlooked. Last year, if it wasn't for Nashville, who knows how that goes. So when you hear that, are you kind of like, do you realize what I've done recently?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, right? I think unless you hold the big number 1 plate, you don't get recognized sometimes. But yeah, obviously every year besides 22, I've been a title contender, and I've pushed to the very end and been in the fight, and we've been able to win too, which is great. I do feel like it is probably the best version of myself, but maybe not statistically. But I think that the class, as we keep alluding to, is super deep, and I feel like I'm riding really well right now, but I'm with you. It's been a great run, my 450 career so far.
When you say this is the best version of yourself, do you mean across the board or just one part of your program specifically?
I feel across the board. I mean, I think overall, it's easy to look back, but I feel like, in 2021 I had a great season and was really awesome, but I feel like I'm going faster than I was then. I feel like my qualifying's a little better, my starts are better, everything's kind of better, but there's a lot of better guys too. Everyone's evolved, and so yeah, it's hard to say. But if you look at stats, 21 I won 8 races, which is great, and that was probably my best season ever. But I feel like overall maturity, experience, my racecraft, my fitness, everything, I'm just pretty strong right now.
Yeah, let's talk about your qualifying, because as you get older, your sprint speed is not meant to improve, but somehow this is now your jam, I guess.
Yeah, exactly, right? I think that's always been something that has held me back in my career, and so like I said, this year against Jett, especially having 2 pole positions is great. I think I look back, I hadn't had one since 2021 or something crazy, so I think just little stuff like that. I'm improving. I feel like our speed is actually closest to the front, or sometimes, as we've been seeing, I've actually been running the fastest lap of the main or whatever the case is. So, yeah, it's cool. I keep saying it, but at 28 to be evolving and getting better is super cool.
Last thing, you have battled a lot of top guys for championships. How does battling Jett seem different, if at all? Does it change your approach at all?
Yeah, it's a lot different, man. I feel like he's a very tough competitor. You know, he's very fast, he's very strong, he's fit. Mentally, he's strong. So it's been so far my toughest battle yet, by far, and having to pull out all the tricks. So we'll see what ends up happening, but yeah, I think this one's been the toughest so far.
First of all, this thing is now coming down to the wire, but you do such a good job of seeming like nothing bothers you from the outside. So do you feel pressure? Does it have an impact on you? Have you laid in bed at night thinking about this championship?
I wouldn't say like laying in bed thinking about it. I think it more so like right before the gate drop is when you really feel that pressure, I would say. But I mean, it's what we live for. I mean, we all work hard to try and get in this spot that I'm in now. So I can't say it's a poor me. I have so much pressure, but I think every racer wants to be here in this situation. So I mean, it's a cool experience for me. But no, I'm looking forward to this battle with Cooper. He's an awesome competitor, so it's going to be it's going to go down to the wire with him. I know that for sure.
How is outdoor testing going? Obviously, you were so good last year. Do you feel like you've already unlocked another level, either with yourself or the bike?
I haven't done much outdoors, sadly, because in the break when I got hurt a little bit, so I had to take some days off and make sure that kind of recovers first before I could do any outdoor testing. And once we did, we got kind of back, did some riding and that stuff. But you know, it's at a kind of stage right now. It's just like to the side. We're more focused on getting this championship, and then we'll go to that next.
See, some riders would be flustered that they haven't got the outdoor testing in yet. But again, I just feel like that doesn't faze you at all.
Yeah, I feel like it's a lot easier going from. I know it's some days it's easier going from outdoors to Supercross and vice versa some days. So we'll see how it is. I might pick it up pretty quickly, but we'll see. But until then, we'll get there. We'll get there in the meantime. But right now we have this to finish off first. Yeah.
Okay, so there's definitely been an uptick for you in form and in results in recent weeks, but I don't know if that makes you happy enough. I'm guessing you maybe still want a little more.
I mean, yeah. I mean, for me, I feel like I've always been a guy to be top 5 and always, you know, fighting for podiums. And I feel like I'm there. But I think realistically, from Indianapolis, I haven't been that bad. You know, Seattle was a bad one, but then even St. Louis was good. I just had a bad last Triple Crown race, and then Foxborough and Nashville were decent, but I still want to be better.
Considering this is a new bike, are you still doing a lot of testing at this point in the season compared to previous seasons?
Yeah, I think there's certain things to where I think our bike is really well. You know, like I think when the tracks are a little shallower, I think our bike is just better. I think when it gets a little softer, those are things that we've learned this year, and we understand that we have to fix for next year. But you go from Seattle to St. Louis, and St. Louis was rutted, but it's not as like that spongy, you know. So it's like I think my bike was pretty good in St. Louis, and I think it was pretty good at the last couple, but I still think there's room for improvement. But I think just the racing is the data, and we were hoping that we didn't have any mistakes or anything, but I think there's some times where I think that we can make improvements, and me too. I think I can make improvements as well.
So actually it makes perfect sense that you have been better these last couple of weekends. You would have almost expected it with the track conditions.
Yeah, 100%. I think just me as the rider I am, I think I'm better in those conditions, but I want to be good in everything, and I need to make sure that the me and the motorcycle are, you know, kind of collabing to be a little bit, better in the softer conditions, so I could be good at everything.
I'm guessing heading to the hard pack of Denver and Salt Lake, you have ambition to end the year on a high.
Yeah, 100%. I like both those tracks. I think they're kind of close to where I grew up, so we'll see how it goes.
We are now obviously a few races into your return. You've been back for a decent amount of time now. Is this going as you expected? Because I feel like there have been moments of glory, but then also crushing moments. It's just been inconsistent.
Yeah, it's just been weird. I don't really know how to describe it, to be honest, other than weird. But yeah, I mean, like we went to Indy for the Triple Crown and went like 11 DNF, or no, that was St. Louis. Sorry, 11 DNF, 11, and was in a pretty good spot, you know. And then Seattle was terrible along with last weekend. So the inconsistency has been something that's puzzling me, I guess, too. But we show up thinking we make a lot of progress during the week, and then we try to apply it to the weekend, and whether it's condition based or whatever, it seems to just not really be working. And a lot of that's just on me. Like I'm trying to steer the ship a certain way, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, I mean, and when it's not going well, then it seems like the starts aren't there. Then you surround yourself with maybe in a pack that you're not normally used to being in, or just being in the back of the pack, period. All these dudes are good, but when you start in the back, it's hard to make any progress. And yeah, man, it's been challenging for sure, is I guess the best way to describe it. But the good thing about the position that we're in is that we can go forward, and try and make progress and hopefully be on the up. But yeah, I'm excited, man, to end these last 3 races good, and yeah, see where we go after that.
Is it possible that the inconsistency is just down to developing a new bike, encountering different soil, different track conditions, different rhythm sections, or is that off the mark?
No, I'd say so, really. It's been more of a challenge, I guess, than I thought to go from ground zero, really. Just like I said, in every direction. It's a great thing that the team is so like, hey, whatever you want to do, we'll try and do it, but also tough at the same time because I don't have that like, hey, this worked in the past, we can maybe try and go this direction. We don't have any of that. So like I said, a lot of that's on me, trying to steer it a certain way and trying to go there, and then it seems like you're constantly just searching for a feeling, and then when you don't get it, and then you're kind of going progressively again and again and again, and then it keeps going the wrong direction, you feel like that's so far away. So it's just been a weird up and down season, really, for me.
And it would be such a help if you and Benny were similar riding styles, similar bike builds.
7 foot tall, yeah, it'd be nice. Because for him, it's just so different because he has to have the bike pretty much as stiff as anybody could build suspension is what they do for Benny. For me, that's clearly not going to work, and it's just tough to find what is going to work, like, do we have to run this bike a little softer than some other bikes? Do you have to run it stiffer? Can you run it raked in? Can it be out? Where does it flex at? Like, all the stuff that we've been struggling with has been feels like just a mystery at times, but we do make progress, and then like I said, sometimes we feel like when we apply it, it's not progress. So just been a weird season.
Finally, quickly, is this the most you have questioned yourself, or are you generally okay on that side? I
mean, for sure you do, right? Like, eventually that kind of weighs on you where you're like, dude, do I just suck? I mean, I don't know, like what the deal is, but then I, kind of get back to my senses, and I'm like, man, I'm good at what I do. Like, this team trusted me with this stuff for a reason. I just have to be a little bit better than what I am.